Ruger SR9 and SR9C. About 23.5 ounces, 26.5 ounces. And both of them about 1.25 inches width according to the website. Safety check first, safety sallies. Empty mag. Nothing in the chamber. Still no mag in there. Empty. Empty. Ditto for that guy. The SR9 we'll start off with. Full size, 17+1 round capacity. This is the big boy. This one was mainly, as far as I understand, is geared more towards police, security, and home defense. Because it is so slim, and I know I just said it was about 1.25 inches, but really, the website, what they give for the measurements, I believe they are giving the widest point measurement here, which would be including these little tiny safety nubs. I can't really call them levers, or safety nubs. It's like 1.27 inches, I believe. But really, the actual width of the full frame and everything, it's more like 1 1/8 inches. It's significantly thinner. It's darn near 1911 width. Very thin. The other thing is, even though it's a double stack magazine, it's just minimal. I mean, see how thin the grip frame is there? They didn't pad that with a lot of extra material. It's not weak. I mean, this is very strong polymer, but it left a very thin, slender grip. I mean, this is very, very 1911 feeling, not just in its shape and its width, but its angle, and it's just very comfortable to hold. I mean, it points easy and naturally. And another nice thing is this indentation they make for the thumb, and this beaver tail type of shape to it. Very good for people with a kind of short to average finger length. Girlfriend of mine, she loves the shape of this. It's kind of like more like a Browning high power actually than a 1911. Very comfortable for a lot of hand sizes and shapes, especially in addition to this interchangeable back strap. You push out this little pin here, slide this out, flip it around. You can either have it just flat, flush with the back strap there, or you can flip it around like I have it here, and it has kind of an arch to it, which fits my hand better. I have kind of average size hands, you know, sort of short, stumpy little fingers. Fits me just wonderfully. I mean, this is so comfortable to hold, even without a extra, you know, grip, slip-on grip thing there. So, can't say enough about the grip shape. Not so much the texture, the shape. Another thing is the on the SR9C. Switching over to this for a moment. The SR9C, again, same principle. You get the interchangeable back strap, which really doesn't do a whole lot for me because it's so short. I mean, this is only about that big. It doesn't go all the way down like this one does. So you're only making, you're not making contact with this part of here. So it really, you're only gonna make a difference with this, and it really, even when I flip it around, I can't really feel the difference. So it leaves it flat there. But otherwise, it's very comfortable, especially with this included magazine base plate extension for the pinky. From the factory, most of the time they usually come with the flush base plate already installed, but they toss this in the box with it. But on the SR9C, for some reason they put these on this pistol, but not on the full size, the forward grip serrations. When I'm loading, you know, I'm used to doing an overhand grip like that, but when I'm ejecting around to clear it, I usually do this so I can eject the shell and then I catch it in my hand. These forward grip serrations make that really easy to do. So I don't charge it when I'm, you know, racking a round into there, but otherwise it's really nice for, you know, catching your rounds and clearing your gun. So extra little bonus point there. And that's specific to the SR9C. As far as weight difference between big guy and little guy, we're only talking 3 ounces again. This is 26, this is 23.5, this is 26.5. Barely any difference. Size difference is and it isn't significant. Now if you look at the length, you know, going from, because these barrel lengths here are about 1/2 inch off, I believe, between the two. And then the grip length, I can show you here. The grip length is significant, especially if you have, like, just pretend you have a flush base plate on there, and you're talking about an extra inch there. So of course the SR9C is way easier to conceal. Not that this SR9 full size cannot be concealed carried. In fact, this is one of my main carry guns. Just all depends on the holster and how you dress. Versatility is a big plus with the SR9C. You basically have 3 guns in one when you get this. You have a concealed carry gun, of course, as is the compact version with a shorter grip and slightly shorter barrel. You also have a home defense gun, because you have this Picatinny rail here, just the same as the full-size model. And you also have a range gun, because this does take the full-size 17-round magazines from the full-size SR9. It does come with a grip adapter, if you do live in a free state that does allow 17-round magazines. It does come with a 17-round magazine and this little slip-on adapter that goes on here. It makes it all look like one solid piece with the grip. So it's kind of like it just instantly turns it into a full-size SR9 just by popping in a different mag. But you can actually still fire this without the adapter. And if you have both, like I do, it's pretty nice because you can just grab your spare mags for your SR9, and then just depending on what you're wearing or where you're going or whatever, you can grab this one or this one and grab the same spare mags, and they work with both without any changes necessary. So you have 3 guns in one. It's really nice, really versatile, and with both of them, very pleasant to shoot. Very easy to shoot accurately, very low recoil, very little muzzle flip, has a low bore axis, has just enough weight to soak up recoil. I mean, not that the 9mm has a huge amount of recoil, but it does have just enough weight to soak up all the recoil to allow for a fast follow-up shots without making the gun very heavy to carry. This is as light as, if not lighter than, the P95, which only holds 15 plus 1. This holds 17 plus 1. And the trigger on this is debatable whether or not it's nicer. I like it better because it's more crisp and it doesn't have that mushy feel to it like the P-series guns do. Of course, then again, that's also a double single trigger, and this is considered a double action, but it's to me more like a single action. Very Glock-like in nature. You have this little here trigger scissors trigger safety, and you have this, to me, kind of redundant manual safety. But just again to make sure we're clear here, clear all there. But the trigger on this is very, it's not light. It's about at least 5 pounds, but it is very, very crisp, rather short. And then the reset on there, very positive and short. So double taps on there, very easy to accomplish, and very quick to shoot. Sights on here, I can't really say they're terrible, but it seems to be that Ruger in particular, almost all their pistols have very small dots, especially in the rear. The front post not so much, but the rear you got these itty bitty little dots, and they're kind of hard to pick up if you're either in low light or if you're just in a hurry. Kind of hard, but I can still shoot them accurately, and it is windage and elevation adjustable. These are very easy to adjust. Dialing this thing in, I mean, it really didn't require a whole lot of adjustment from right out of the box. So very nice as far as that. The extra goodies it comes with, I mean, let me just pull up the full box. What you get when you get one of these, you get this nice, typical hard plastic Ruger box, which they have on all of them except for their little LCPs and LC9s, which they cheap shotted with cardboard. You got your manual, oil-soaked baggie, a nice padlock for your tool shed, spent magazine casing so that they have proof that they have your gun on file and they can track you down if you do anything naughty, and this lovely little mag loader. And this here, normally I don't really care a whole lot for these. I mean, they're kind of a range thing, if you're putting a lot of rounds through there. But on the 17 round mags on this, for one, this does not fit my other mag loader that I have. I have one it's mainly for a CZ75, but it fits just about every other double stack magazine I have except these. They're just a hair too wide, so I have to have this one to load those. The other thing is when you get to the last 2 or 3 rounds, this thing gets really hard to push down. When you first load them, real easy, but when you get to the last few, it really helps to have that. So pretty good that they have this little free extra bonus. I know it's just stamp steel, but whatever, it's good to have. Now, another plus with these, both of them, the SR9 and the SR9C, ammo versatility. These will shoot anything in 9mm. Everything from the light stuff, we're talking like 90 grain power balls, all the way up to plus P plus and NATO spec ammunition. These things will chew through anything you feed them. I've actually even put reloads through this guy here. Only feeding or firing extraction problems or anything I've ever had was with this guy. When the initial break-in, I had about 2, maybe 3 failure to extract, and I don't know if that was my doing or if it was the ammo. I was shooting through some cheap Federal Champion stuff from Walmart, but that was the only thing I ever had. That was the initial break-in. After that, has been flawless. This thing has never even so much as had a hiccup ever. It's just been wonderful. So can't say enough for the reliability. And even, like I said, NATO spec, which is 124 grain. It's some guns that they've actually said you cannot fire that because it's higher pressure and so forth, because that's, I forget whether it's European spec instead of SAMI spec. But anyways, it'll chew through that, so you don't ever have to worry about, oh god, is it safe to fire in my gun? You can fire whatever you want. As far as defensive loads, just to throw that out there, I'm a cheap ass. I like this stuff. I mean, it's 100 rounds from Wally World. It's about $27.97 or something like that. Less than 30 bucks. You're talking less than 30 cents per shot, and this works. I mean, it's a hollow point. Used to be, back in the day, this was the stuff to get. Now it's not the latest whiz-bang whoop-de-doo ammo, but it's not going to bounce off a bad guy. It's not going to go zip through them and not expand. This is good stuff. So, anyways, you can buy 1 box of this and fill both of these guns and their spare mags and still have leftover. So, just throwing that out there. Another thing, and again, the low recoil on both these, you again have just enough weight to soak up the recoil without making it heavy, and also because of the very low bore axis on this. I mean, you see where the muzzle is in relation to my, top of my hand there. It's very low, and it has this kind of overhang that does help sort of, get your grip high up in there, locks it in. I mean, I can double tap, triple tap with this real easy. And of course, again, thanks to the short trigger reset on here, it is very, very easy to shoot quickly and accurately. So, very nice. And also, if you have a first-time shooter, you just start somebody out, this guy is lovely for that. Again, not hard to pull the trigger, not hard to actuate the slide on that. The SR9C, because it's a shorter slide and has a stiffer spring, pretty stiff to rack, especially when it's brand new and you haven't broken it in. But the full size, even when it's new, is very easy to operate. So very good for new shooters or people that don't have a lot of grip strength, or people that are just recoil sensitive. Now the negatives on here, on both of them, first of all, lawyer safeties. This is getting to be a thing with Ruger. They love safeties. They love loaded chamber indicators. They love magazine disconnect safeties. If you drop the mag, you can still pull the trigger with a round in there, but it has a firing pin block in there. They also has this for a manual safety, which I'm not really huge on the manual safety thing. I mean, it's on this, obviously it was not a deal breaker for me because I own 2 of them. But it's a passive safety to me. You can actually leave this down because you also have, in addition to that, this Glock style trigger safety. This is not a light trigger, it's not a hairpin trigger, but unless you push in this little center thing, you deliberately have your finger on the trigger and pull it all the way rearward, it's not going to go off. If you drop it on the ground, or if you have something that just brushes this, I mean, you can see right here, I'm not pushing in the center blade. To push on the side, it does not go back. You have to actually push that in to get the trigger to move rearward. So it is safety carry with this off. But it's kind of redundant. This is something that they added for some states that require that, like California, Massachusetts, stuff like that. They have their little goofball rules. And again, you have this loaded chamber indicator, which, look how humongous this thing is. It's like a freaking flag. I mean, really, you do not need this large loaded chamber indicator. The 2 guys that have come up with loaded chamber indicators that actually make sense would be Smith & Wesson, which just has a hole in the top. You just peek through, and if you can see brass, duh, it's loaded. And also Taurus, they have a loaded chamber indicator, which works the same as this, except Instead of having a giant freaking flag sticking up here, it's just like barely a little nub. It's something you can just run your finger over and you can feel it. It's not like, look here, there's a round in here, you know, for Captain Obvious people. So, lawyer safeties, kind of stupid. Oh, and let's not forget, we have to have this printed on all our guns. Before using gun, read warnings and instruction manual. Really? I think that should be kind of a given part of normal gun safety. You know, you shouldn't be handling these things if you don't read the freaking safety manual to begin with. That's just me. So, a lot of stupid, redundant stuff on there. Not necessary, but at least it does not interfere with the gun operation. I mean, again, you can just ignore the manual safety, just treat it like you would a Glock 26, 19, 22, whatever. Same principle. Now, the grip length on the SR9, yes, it is a lot more comfortable as far as shooting at the range because you have a full grip. You get a really nice solid hold on there and everything. But trying to conceal this thing, again, the hardest part of every gun to conceal is going to be this part right here. And for some reason, I don't know why, Ruger felt it necessary to make this a square grip like that. I mean, a flat, squared base to it. As opposed to others where they go at an angle, more like that. They made it square, and it sticks out. See how you can see the difference in profile there between the two? So whenever you have this in your waistband, be it an appendix carry or in the back, this is going to be the part that's going to be sticking out and poking, saying, here I am. So that's kind of, I don't know why they did that. Smith & Wesson with the Sigma and the SD9, for example, they got it right. They have 16+1 capacity. It's almost the exact same capacity as this, but they put this at an angle right here. Makes it so much easier to conceal that even the Sigma and SD9 are almost as easy to conceal as this. So, kind of a minus, at least with the SR9 specifically. SR9C, again, not an issue. And as I already mentioned, the tiny little dots they have on the 3-dot sights on the rear, particular, not the front, but the rear, little tiny dots. They do make aftermarket sights for these, and they're a lot, bigger. I think they have Big Dot XS sights and fire sights and some other brands. So it's fixable, but out of the box, not a big, real fan of that. Another thing is, as I was mentioning earlier, with the grip texture on this, it's not the grip shape. The shape of it is beautiful. The texture, this stuff here is like a bastard file. I mean, this is stuff, and you could probably take this grip and, grate cheese with it for your dinner. I mean, this is just, it's not as bad as the car series guns, because it's not this giant chunks, but it is very much like a file. And it doesn't hurt to shoot so much. It's really not the gripping part, like holding it and shooting it. That is not the issue. It's when you carry this, particularly if you have this on your hip, whether it's an inside or outside the waistband holster. If you don't have some kind of a shirt or something between you and this will chew the hell out of your skin. I mean, you're walking back and forth and you're doing this number, and I mean, it just takes off skin. I mean, you can actually see chunks of my skin coming off there off my knuckles. I mean, it's a little ridiculous. So I don't know why they do this. It's just kind of a Ruger thing. A lot of their pistols, they have the same kind of texture. And again, it's not terrible, but it's just something you got to keep in mind. Remedy for that would be to, of course, go with a Hogue slip-on grip, or I like these Tough One grips. They're nice, squishy silicone. It doesn't add any bulk to the grip, and it just covers that up, so it doesn't chew your skin off. So kind of minor. One last grip I have on here is kind of goes under the same category as lawyer safeties, is the magazine disconnect on these. Now, I believe, being that the SR9 was the first one to come out, and this is kind of oriented more towards like a service pistol for police, military, security, whatever, they put this magazine disconnect safety on here. Now this goes back to the days of the old Browning high power, where if you drop the magazine on here, the trigger on the, at least on a high power unless you can't pull the trigger back at all. This one you can still pull it back, but when you do, it has a firing pin block in there that comes up, and so you'll hear a click, but it won't go off because it's blocking the firing pin from contacting the primer. Now, I guess the thought behind that was that if you get into a struggle, hand to hand, you can just pop the mag out, and then if they get the gun away from you, they can't use it against you. Well, I guess that's all fine and dandy and all, but for the rest of us, it's just a stupid feature, especially considering that with the SR9 series, And just like the Ruger P345, if you do pop the mag out of here and you still have that in there and you go to fire it, that will actually damage the gun. Believe it or not, you can screw up your firing pin on these. Now I've since, on both of these, I have removed that, and it is very easy to do. You just break it down like you normally would. And I'll just show you a quick demonstration here. Pop out your takedown pin, push down that little thing inside of the mag well, off comes your slide. Now, just to show you what I'm talking about here, see that empty gap right there? That's where the magazine disconnect safety used to be. Really, really easy to take out, and I'm pretty sure that they did this on, with the idea in mind that people don't want that, and so they made it easy to take out. All you have to do is pull off your back plate here for your striker retaining, take out your striker, and then when you pull your striker out, this little U-shaped thing with a spring on it will come out there. You can just pull it out, stick everything back in there, and you're good to go. Do not throw out that piece when you remove it. Reason being, you never know if you want to turn around and sell this thing or trade it in for something else, whatever. You'll want that back in there, or at least included with the gun, either as a liability. I don't know if anybody can turn around and sue you, but I'd rather not try and find out the hard way, or because of the fact that if you ever have to send this in to Ruger again for service, for warranty, or whatever, if you don't have that in there, they'll put it in there for you and they'll charge you for it. That may even void your warranty in some cases. So best to have that part on hand just in case you need it, so don't toss it. But otherwise, it's easy to take out. It's an easy fix for a stupid thing, a stupid so-called feature. Just showing you real quick here how easy it is to put back together. Back in business. So, and once you have that out, then, and only then, is it safe to dry fire without a snap cap in place. You can do this all day long, and it is perfectly safe to dry fire. If you do have the magazine disconnect in place still, as long as you have an empty magazine, and of course your chamber is empty, as long as you have the magazine in place, you can still dry fire it safely. As per the instruction manual, that's what the instructions themselves say. It is safe to dry fire with the magazine in place. So, just so you know. So there you have it, the SR9 and SR9C. Excellent, excellent, excellent series pistols. They have their quirks, as all pistols do, but they are relatively minor compared to the such great quality of the guns. I mean, again, they're very reliable. They shoot anything you can put in through them. They feel great, they carry great, they're accurate, they're versatile, just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful handguns. This, to me, is the top buy in handguns as far as compact to full size in centerfire, striker fired guns. And again, they do have this in 9 and 40 Smith & Wesson caliber. So, for what it's worth, that's my 2 cents on that. Thanks for watching.